Hello, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a story that continues to reshape global politics and raise serious questions about power, stability, and the future of international security. The title alone, From Superpower to Collapse, Russia Issues Another Deadly Threat, captures a reality that many analysts once thought impossible. A nation that was feared, respected, and considered untouchable is now showing signs of deep internal strain, while simultaneously issuing increasingly dangerous warnings to the world. For decades, Russia projected the image of a superpower that could challenge the West on every front. Militarily, politically, and strategically, it positioned itself as a key player capable of influencing global outcomes. However, recent events suggest that this image is cracking. What we are witnessing today is not just aggressive rhetoric, but a reflection of mounting pressure inside Russia itself. The latest deadly threat issued by Russian leadership has alarmed governments, analysts, and ordinary people alike. It was not just the content of the threat, but the timing and tone that stood out, coming at a moment when Russia faces economic strain, diplomatic isolation, and military challenges. The message sounded less like confidence and more like desperation. Historically, powerful nations tend to escalate their language when they feel cornered. Russia's current posture fits this pattern. Sanctions have weakened its economy, limiting access to technology, investment, and global markets. While official statements claim resilience, everyday reality for many citizens tells a different story, one of inflation, shortages, and declining living standards. At the same time, the ongoing conflict has drained resources at an alarming rate. Military equipment losses, manpower issues, and logistical failures have exposed weaknesses that were once carefully hidden. This has forced Russian leadership to rely more heavily on threats as a tool of deterrence, rather than clear demonstrations of strength. Another important factor is the loss of diplomatic credibility. Many countries that once maintained balanced relations with Russia are now distancing themselves. Even traditional partners are becoming cautious, avoiding full alignment and limiting their support. This isolation amplifies the sense that Russia is fighting not just external enemies, but time itself. The deadly threat in question was framed as a warning to the West, suggesting severe consequences if certain red lines are crossed. Nuclear rhetoric, in particular, has become disturbingly frequent. While such threats may be intended to scare opponents into submission, they also risk backfiring by uniting global powers against Russia even more strongly. Inside Russia, the situation is equally complex. Public dissent, though tightly controlled, is growing. Reports of protests, dissatisfaction among soldiers' families, and criticism from nationalist voices show cracks in the internal narrative. Maintaining control requires increased censorship and repression, further straining the system. When a state invests more energy in silencing its own people than in building prosperity, it signals a shift from confidence to survival mode. This is where the idea of collapse begins to enter the conversation. Collapse does not always mean sudden disintegration. Sometimes it is a slow erosion of institutions, trust, and influence. The threat also reveals a reliance on fear rather than diplomacy. In the past, Russia could negotiate from a position of strength. Today, its warnings seem aimed at compensating for diminishing leverage. The world is changing, alliances are strengthening elsewhere, and Russia's ability to shape outcomes is no longer guaranteed. Economically, the long-term outlook remains grim. Energy revenues, once a powerful weapon, are under pressure as markets diversify and reduce dependence. Infrastructure is aging, innovation is lagging, And brain drain continues as skilled professionals leave in search of stability and opportunity. Militarily, the myth of invincibility has been shattered. Modern warfare has exposed outdated tactics and equipment. While Russia still possesses significant firepower, the effectiveness and sustainability of its military operations are increasingly questioned by experts around the world. The deadly threat also carries a psychological dimension. It is meant to remind the world of Russia's capacity for destruction, even if its capacity for construction is weakening. This imbalance between destructive power and constructive vision is a hallmark of declining empires throughout history. International reactions have been cautious but firm. Western leaders have reiterated their commitment to defense and deterrence, while also emphasizing the need to avoid escalation. At the same time, preparations are being made for worst-case scenarios, indicating that the threat is being taken seriously. For smaller nations, the situation is particularly worrying. They find themselves caught between major powers, forced to navigate a world where aggressive threats are becoming more normalized. This undermines global stability and increases the risk of miscalculation. The media narrative around Russia has also shifted. Once portrayed as a strategic chess master, it is now often described as reactive and isolated. This change in perception has real consequences, affecting investment, diplomacy, and long-term influence. It is important to understand that collapse is not inevitable, but the warning signs are clear. A combination of economic decline, military strain, political repression, and aggressive rhetoric creates a volatile mix. Without meaningful reform or de-escalation, the trajectory remains troubling. The deadly threat should be seen not just as an external warning, but as an internal signal. It reflects fear of losing relevance, fear of defeat, and fear of change. History shows that such moments can lead either to renewal or to further decline. As global citizens, we must pay attention to these developments, not out of fascination, but out of necessity. The consequences of missteps by powerful nations affect everyone. Energy prices, security policies, and geopolitical tensions ripple across borders. The coming months will be critical. Will Russia double down on confrontation, or will it seek a path toward stability and dialogue? Will internal pressures force change, or will repression intensify? These questions remain unanswered, but the stakes could not be higher. In conclusion, from superpower to collapse, Russia issues another deadly threat is not just a dramatic headline. It is a snapshot of a nation at a crossroads, struggling to maintain its status while facing unprecedented challenges. The threats may sound powerful, but they echo with uncertainty. As always, staying informed is essential. Understanding the deeper context behind such statements helps us see beyond the fear and recognize the patterns shaping our world. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, and we'll see you in the next video.